Welcome to Atlantean Astrology, where stars speak in silent codes, and the universe unfolds like a sacred scroll. Here, we are more than seekers. We are voyagers through the timeless and the boundless, stepping beyond the veil of the visible. Join us on YouTube and TikTok, where each moment brings you closer to secrets hidden in the heart of eternity, truths whispered by the cosmos itself. Subscribe not merely to follow, but to awaken. Let us open the celestial doorways together, unraveling the tapestry of the unknown, where light and mystery dance, waiting for the one who dares to see. The Soul's Journey Through Darkness and Light, a Vision from the Gospel of Mary, Section 3 of 7. In the quiet depth of her words, Mary shared a vision that transcended the known, a revelation that spoke not of the outer world, but of the vast landscapes within. This vision was not merely a tale of another realm, but a map for the soul, guiding it through realms of shadow and light, unveiling the journey each soul must undertake to reclaim its true essence. She spoke of the soul's passage, not as an escape from the world, but as a path through the illusions that bind it to suffering, a journey into the heart of divine liberation. As Mary's voice filled the room, the disciples found themselves drawn into the mystery she described. She spoke not of salvation as an event, but as an awakening, a slow, steady unveiling of truth. In her vision, salvation was not a gift bestowed from beyond, but a realization, a remembering of the light that each soul carries, hidden beneath layers of ego, attachment, and fear. The soul's journey, as Mary revealed, was not a matter of reaching outward, but of turning inward, of confronting the shadows that obscure its radiant core. In this vision, the soul begins its journey in a place of darkness, a realm where it is surrounded by shadows cast by its own fears, its own desires. These shadows, Mary explained, are not external forces, but reflections of the soul's own beliefs, the illusions it has accepted as reality. To awaken, the soul must first confront these shadows, not as enemies, but as teachers, as reminders of the illusions that have shaped its world. The journey of the soul, Mary said, her voice low and steady, is a journey through the layers of illusion that bind it. Each shadow is a mask, a veil that obscures the truth. And as the soul looks upon each shadow, as it sees through each illusion, it becomes lighter, freer, closer to the light that is its true nature. In her vision, Mary described realms where the soul encounters forces that try to pull it back, voices that whisper of separation and fear that tempt it to cling to the familiar comforts of the material world. These forces, she explained, are not evil. They are the echoes of the soul's own attachments, the desires that tie it to a world of forms and appearances. They are the voices of the ego, the fears and yearnings that create a sense of separation from the divine. Mary's vision painted these forces not as adversaries to be defeated, but as illusions to be recognized. The soul does not need to fight against these shadows. It needs only to see them for what they are, temporary, fleeting projections of its own mind. The moment the soul recognizes the emptiness of these shadows, their power fades, and they dissolve, leaving the soul one step closer to freedom. As she spoke, Mary's words wove a path through these realms of illusion, leading the disciples into a deeper understanding of the journey before them. She described the soul shedding its layers of attachment, like a traveler discarding burdens along the path. Each layer released brings the soul closer to its essence, to the light that has been there all along, hidden beneath the false identities it has worn. Imagine, Mary said, her voice filled with quiet intensity, a soul stripped of all that is false, free from every attachment, every illusion. This is the true self, the essence that cannot be touched by fear or desire. It is the light that has always been, waiting to be revealed. In this vision, The soul's journey is not one of adding to itself, but of letting go, of releasing all that is not its true self. Salvation, as Mary revealed, is not about becoming something new. It is about returning to what has always been, to the light within that is unchanging, eternal and pure. The journey, then, is a journey of surrender, a peeling away of all that clouds the soul's vision until it can see clearly, until it can remember its own divinity. The disciples listened, their hearts stirred by the depth of her vision. Mary was describing a path that defied their understanding of salvation, a path that required no ritual, no external guide, but only the courage to look within. In this vision, the soul was its own teacher, its own guide, as it journeyed through realms of its own making, shedding illusions and attachments until only the truth remained. And as Mary continued, she spoke of a final realm, a place of undivided light, where the soul encounters the truth of its being. This is the place beyond fear, beyond desire, where the soul stands whole and complete, one with the divine. In this realm there is no separation, no division, only unity, only light. Here the soul recognizes itself not as a separate entity, but as part of the infinite, a spark of the divine source woven into the fabric of all creation. Here, Mary said, her voice like a whisper that carried across lifetimes, the soul remembers. It remembers that it was never separate, that it has always been connected to the divine, to the source of all. This is the final awakening, the return to the truth of who we are. Her words hung in the air, resonating in the hearts of those who heard them. The disciples felt a shift within, a softening of the boundaries they had believed defined them. Mary was showing them a path that was not bound by earthly limitations, a journey that led beyond the illusions of form and identity into the heart of divine truth. In this vision, they understood that Mary's role was not to lead them, but to point the way, to remind them of the journey that each soul must undertake alone. She was a mirror, reflecting the truth that lay within each of them, waiting to be seen. And as they listened, they felt a sense of peace, a deep knowing that their journey was not a path towards something distant, but a return to what had always been within. For Mary, the journey of the soul was a process of remembering, a return to the light that is the soul's birthright. Salvation, in her vision, was not a reward, but a state of being, a liberation from all that is false, a freedom that comes when the soul sees through the illusions of the world and recognizes the divine light within itself. Through Mary's vision, the disciples glimpsed the truth of their own nature, a truth that did not depend on ritual or law, but on the simple act of seeing, of remembering. In her presence, they felt the stirrings of this truth within themselves, a light that had been waiting for the moment they would look within and recognize it. This was the gift of Mary's vision. A map for the soul, a path that leads not outward but inward into the heart of divine liberation. It was a journey each of them would take in their own way, guided not by commandments but by the quiet, steady light within. And in this journey, they found a peace that surpassed all understanding, a joy that was not of this world, a love that was as infinite as the source from which they came.